Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
All right, here we go. A lot of sports to cover today on the program, but one sport is at the tip top because it's that time of year. March Madness rolling along. We've got one final day today before we get back into it. Let me get my headphones here where I can hear myself. Oh, there we go. There we go. Man, I sound good. Zach, I sound good. Couldn't hear myself a moment ago, Zach, but now I sound good. Have I sounded that good?
There you go.
Have I sounded that good the entire show?
You sounded exactly like that the whole show. You know what I mean?
The entire 45 seconds we've been on, I've been sounding good.
As long as I've known you, even.
Well, good for me, good for you, good for everybody watching the Young and Norvelle Show here on Action Sports Jax. A lot to get to. Hope to hear from Patrick Young a little bit later. Pat's busy. Did we have a lot of fun yesterday? My goodness, Zach. It was funny, Zach. We had a really fun, good show on location. We were not at our normal Tuesday location. Normally we are at Hurricane Jointa Creek, and we'll be there next Tuesday. But we took a little, you heard, Zach, we took a little field trip yesterday. And we were at that bar at the arena right across from baseball, so we could walk over and watch Florida State baseball when we got there. Zach,
I got you.
It was so much fun. Patrick had a doctor's appointment, but he made it for the last 30 minutes. He was just swamped by Gator Nation wanting to talk to him, shake his hand, buy his book. Zach, though, I'm trying to put everything together. Yesterday, we had probably one of our best shows ever on the Young and Norvelle Show. And, Zach, you were nowhere to be found. You were not even part of it.
That's purely coincidental.
Okay, fair enough.
Has to be.
How you doing? What's new?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing? I'm excited to watch the Lady Cox roll through
tonight.
Roll through the
Lady Cox tonight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Gotta double check that. Yeah.
So you're going home to watch some Lady Cox tonight? Is that what you're trying to tell everybody?
You can say that.
South Carolina. Do you know who they play? And what round are they in? Are they deep in that tournament or no?
It was the same. So they'll be in the 16.
Okay.
I don't really.
Are you worried?
I don't really lock in that. No, I'm not really locking in that close till they get to the Final Four, honestly.
So the ladies, South Carolina Gamecocks are so good, you don't even worry, right?
I don't really lock in until Final Four, is what I'm saying.
I got you.
Yes, it'll be the Sweet 16. They play against Maryland, and they actually don't play until Friday. That's how locked in I am.
Okay, so they play Friday. They play Maryland, and, hey, the Gators play Maryland.
There you go.
In big boy basketball, right? What is this shirt you have on? We got Brent Beaird. We'll get to him in a second. But what do we got here?
This is for Crustacean Nation. It's Dr. Cocktail Sauce with the jumbo shrimp.
Jumbo shrimp.
Yeah.
Speaking of being at their ballpark yesterday, or I guess a multi-use city ballpark, which is the baseball grounds, but the jumbo shrimp. Folks, there have been a lot of renovations since the last time you were down at the baseball grounds. You're going to love them. I was there last night. Man, I'm telling you, Zach, I talked to my buddy Robert Leverock with the Gator Bowl Association. They put the game on every year. They put on the Florida State neutral baseball game. He told me it was absolutely sold out. You could not have crammed one more person in that ballpark, I didn't think. It was a beautiful crowd, huge crowd, great night, great baseball, and Florida State, a grand salami dagger through the Gators.
Big walk-off at the end.
Walk-off grand salami as Florida tried to steal the game in the ninth inning. Florida State should have won the game, and they did. Mm-hmm. Florida rolled in the ninth, scored 2 to take the lead, and they nearly closed out a big upset win. But, oh, my goodness. The Gator,
another Tuesday game and another loss.
But and another, the Gator relief pitching staff just can't hold it. Florida scores. Florida barely gets a hit during the game. They trail 3-1. They get within 3-2. Okay, with barely. I think we'll get Brent in a second. Mm-hmm. Florida gets to within 3-2, 6th inning or so. I'm leaving the 7th. Okay, last night, work day, blah blah blah. Florida gets within 3-2, and they still barely hit the ball. They got a hit. They get a walk. They get a wild pitch. They score a run. It's 3-2. Top of the ninth, Gators are the visiting team. Florida scratches not 1 to tie 2 Florida scores 2 in the top of the ninth, and for the life of you and me and everybody, you go, Florida is going to steal this game, which happens in baseball. Baseball is a quirky sport. The Gators are about to steal this game, and if they steal the game, they win the 2 out of 3 series because they won the first game in Tallahassee, for God's sakes. The Gators go to the bottom of the ninth with their closer, and I use that word with quotation marks. Florida's relief pitching is a mess. They really don't have anybody that has taken any job. Bridge guy, 8th inning guy, closer. Philpott stays in the game in the ninth to try and close it out for the Gators. They've got a 1-run lead. They're about to steal a win. The closer for Florida in the bottom of the ninth, FSU's the home team last night, he walks the first batter, hits the second batter, walks the third batter, single to tie the game, grand salami. What a nice walk-off win for Florida State, and what a dagger for the Gators. They just can't find any relief pitching. Oh, Zach Rothrock.
Yeah, I mean, no one is happier than the Gator baseball team about the run for March Madness that the basketball team is going on.
So nobody's watching?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of the you know what? Just the opposite happened last night and during our show. We're set up, we go 4 to 6, obviously. First pitch last night was 6 o'clock. We're right across the street. So obviously that bar at the arena where we broadcast, I want to thank Michael and them again for letting us broadcast there. The place was absolutely jam-packed 2 hours before, but many more Seminole fans than Gator fans at the bar. And then when I went to the game, it was probably 70-30 Seminole fans. And if you step back and go, well, why is that? Jacksonville's a big game. Well, the Gators are struggling in baseball. The Gators are rolling through March Madness. That's where every Gator mind is at, March Madness. And FSU baseball is about the only major sport that's carrying the flag for the Seminoles. They were terrible in basketball. They were terrible in football. So I think Florida State fan has kind of rallied behind Link Jarrett and the 21-3 Seminoles.
Yeah, you got to embrace what you're good at.
Yeah.
So, I get that for sure.
So there you have it. With that, let's welcome our buddy Brent Beaird here on a Wednesday. We got a lot to get to today. Brent Beaird.
Greetings.
Hey, buddy. In the first hour, we'll have Dr. Aaron Bates in the second hour. Brent, man, a lot of places to go here. I still think the number one story is March Madness.
Oh, no doubt.
Definitely March Madness. Hey, did you hear the story? Yesterday, it appeared that the Florida Gator basketball team, headed by Todd Golden, was going to get boxed out in San Francisco. Did you hear the story about the restaurant and Todd Golden?
I didn't read it too carefully. I saw the headlines on it, but I was curious of what that meant. Yeah.
Here's the story, and it all worked out, it looks like. But, Todd Golden played his college. He's a California guy. Mm-hmm. He played at St. Mary's. He's a pretty good player. St. Mary's plays big. That's the Gonzaga rival, okay? Gonzaga, St. Mary's. St. Mary's, played did they play Alabama this year? They played somebody. Really,
yeah, Alabama beat them this weekend.
Yeah, St. Mary's plays good basketball. Todd Golden played the Gator coach played for St. Mary's. He coached at the University of San Francisco, where the regional is at for Florida, in San Francisco. He was an assistant at San Francisco for 3 years. He was the head coach. So he coached for 6 years at the University of San Francisco. He's known out there. He knows the area. So his thought process was, hey, we being Florida, we're bracketed with the West Regional. He saw that a week ago, right? But and his favorite restaurant when he lived in San Francisco was a place called Original Joe's, a great Italian place. So Todd Golden, when he saw the bracket, he goes, man, if we can win our first 2 games, I'd like to take our team for one of our meals when we're in San Francisco. I want to go to my favorite restaurant, turn them on to that. So Todd Golden gets on the phone Monday and calls Original Joe's. He knows the owners. He knows everybody. He says, hey, I want to bring our team. 17 players, 6 staff members, coaches, administrators, about 40, 50 people. And Original Joe says, we're too busy. We can't accommodate you.
Oh, my.
So they got boxed out. As I understand it, though, the actual owners heard the story. There's 2 or 3 locations of this Original Joe's in San Fran. supposedly the original owners, who Todd knows real well, Todd Golden, they heard the story. No, we'll move some stuff around. So they almost got boxed out of the restaurant in San Fran, for God's sakes.
Look, in this day and age, if you have got 50 plus people coming, you make room for them, don't you, Terry? In this economy,
you would think so. I don't know if that was yesterday's meal, today's meal. By the way, Florida, as I understand it, and Maryland had it worse. As I understand it, Maryland never went home. Maryland played in Seattle. How about this? And I get it. They're 20-year-old kids, but the logistics of this is just not good. No. Maryland played their first 2 games in Seattle. Florida played in Raleigh. So Maryland, looking ahead, I don't think they flew cross-country back home to Maryland then to just get back on a plane to go to San Fran. They stayed. As I understand it, Florida, they played Sunday. They got done with media and everything. They got back to Gainesville probably at 8 o'clock on Sunday night.
Right.
As I understand it, Florida got on a early charter and flew out to San Francisco Tuesday morning. I mean, they barely got home to do any laundry.
Yeah, right.
And I think, why would you not give the West Regional in San Francisco a Friday, Sunday instead of a Thursday, Saturday? I don't know, Brent.
See, that's one of those things you figure out way ahead of time when you're planning the bracket. And you know good and well, people look at this months down the line, and that should not have been an issue.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's silly. Look, now, Terry, if you've got teams playing in the East and they're staying in the East, I get that, but not this situation. So the NCAA needs to be able to figure that out.
I agree,
Frank. Now, a media friend told me yesterday, said the reason this happens is, and I don't know about this, but I'm throwing it out there, is the NCAA does things like this because they want to bring sports to their knees so they can have total control over it again.
Wow, that's interesting.
So I'm that's an example of what they're trying to do. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that or true. But I mean, when you think about what's happened to them, they've lost every court case that's been brought up over the last several years.
Yeah.
Can you see that organization trying to get control again?
Maybe. I feel for Maryland. And again, I get it. But, man, Maryland, when they took off last week to open up March Madness, they played in Seattle. Maryland's on the East Coast, my man. Seattle's that's a long trip.
It really is.
They went out there. They probably went 2 days ahead, and I get spring break and all. I get it that you may get spring break, but still, there's no need logistically. Maryland probably had to go 2 days ahead of their first game.
Right.
They played 2 games in 3 days in Seattle, and obviously they looked ahead, like you said, Brent, and they said, "Guys, pack for a couple weeks. We cannot." And they played the night game on Sunday, 7:10. They got done. There's no way they could have flown all the way back cross country. That would have eaten up all of Monday, basically, and then get back on a plane because you don't want to land on the West Coast within 24 hours of playing the game on the West Coast with a 4.5-5 hour jet lag. You don't want to do that.
You know, when you think about the way they've traveled. If Florida wins tomorrow night and they've got Alabama's the early game and then Florida's maybe half an hour later,
30 minutes,
or so. Well, Terry, let's think about that in a minute. If Florida's the second now is that if that Alabama game's Eastern time, it's 7:06.
Yeah.
And I think the Florida game, is about a half an hour later.
Yeah, Florida will tip off West Coast time at 4:39 p.m.
That's what I'm getting at.
And that's an awkward. It's Thursday at 4:39 San Francisco time. That's an odd time.
It really is.
And I get it. These are young kids, but it's an odd setup that I think could have been avoided. I think why not say the West region just match them up with Friday,
Mhm.
Saturday, not
Mhm.
Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah, yeah.
Florida, by the way, Florida played in Raleigh Friday, Sunday. Why not
Mhm.
give them Friday? I don't know. We probably put
And let me just say this real quick. There needs to be a balance. I know they had games in Lexington, they had games in Raleigh. Terry, I don't think we'd be at a place to say there needs to be more games in the Southeast regional part of the United
yeah.
States for March Madness.
Yeah, I agree. Now, with all that said, and we've got tomorrow also to break this thing down. Florida plays on Thursday today, obviously today, and then they play late tomorrow. We'll have another show between now and when they tip off. Really looking at Maryland. I love Florida tomorrow. I think Florida may win, but
Yeah.
I think Florida, when it's over, it may be close early. I think the Gators win by 10, 12, 14 points tomorrow. Maryland, they've got one big, thick kid, Queen. They don't
Yeah.
go to go to their bench hardly at all.
Yes.
I love the matchup. I think Florida gets by Maryland tomorrow with relative second half ease.
Yeah. That would benefit them greatly to be able to do that. To me, the reason they're going to win comfortably tomorrow is they know how close they were to losing to UConn,
Sure.
and they know that they've got to be able to play better. And I think you'll see now. Look, we got to give UConn some credit here.
Yeah.
But the other reality is UConn made Florida play their game. Okay. Florida didn't play Florida basketball arguably until the last, Terry, 5 minutes of the game?
Yeah.
Maybe. Do you see that happening?
I don't think
Thursday night?
Maryland.
I can't see that.
I don't think Maryland can manipulate the game that much. And as we step back a full step from Florida UConn, I think in a weird way that tells you how good Florida is again, because UConn was able to massage the game to a Big East type game, yet they never led by more than 6.
Yeah.
As uncomfortable as Florida looked a bulk of that game in the first half, they never. You would have thought if you manipulate a game to your favor, you're going to be up 16, 17, 18 points. UConn never led by more than 6, which is 2 quick baskets for Florida.
Sure. Absolutely it is. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But yeah. And again, I think they'll be okay as far as rest is concerned by tomorrow. But I'm with you. I think they will. I think that they will have a supreme effort. This team knows where they're going. Their coaches know where they're going.
Yeah.
That they're not going to make any. Well, if we play well, we ought to get in. Golan, what we've heard from Golan is a look, media. We're going to the Final Four. Yeah. That's our plan. That's our goal.
I've really enjoyed his fresh approach to talking to the media. Not cocky, not arrogant, but he says what he thinks. He tells you what he thinks. I also think tomorrow in San Francisco, you have obviously we know Florida, Maryland, and then you have the night game out in San Fran is Arkansas, Texas Tech. I think Florida might have the largest crowd contingent out there with the Todd Golden effect. Again, the guy is from California, played college basketball in California. The games are in San Francisco. He coached 6 years at the University of San Francisco. And I was looking today. San Francisco is a big metropolitan, well-respected. Obviously, when you think of big city, San Francisco, it's in 7 square miles.
Yeah.
So everything's tight right there. I gotta believe Todd Golden is good for 2,000 fans in the arena. And I looked it up. There's a huge San Francisco Gator Club out there. I think Florida will be well represented in the crowd. It may be a quasi home game for the Gators, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. But it's going to be a fascinating night, to say the least. 7:00 games, 9:00 games, and a lot is at stake. Bama and BYU playing in that first game. That game probably is going to be maybe 105 to 100.
Yeah.
You've got two of the highest scoring teams in the nation going against each other. If Bama wins, they'll play Duke, who we think will win.
Yeah, we think over Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah, over Arizona. But when you get to this point, it can certainly be up in the air.
I don't think I'm the only one guilty of this. When I look at Alabama BYU, I think it's easy, and I don't know why. Maybe we're prejudiced for some reason in sports. I think it's easy to look at BYU and go, well, what? They're a high-scoring team. What? You would quasi think BYU is going to be a grinded out. BYU will get up and down, and if they can, they'll score in the 90s. That could be a hell of a fun game. BYU
really?
And Alabama.
Oh yeah. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But BYU is one of the worst defensive teams in the nation, but they score like an NBA team.
Yeah.
Now Alabama is better defensively, but they can certainly have lapses. Mark Sears is really got to get off the snide. His 3-point shooting right now is just frankly abysmal, to be honest about it. But they kind of gathered themselves against St. Mary's, who had beaten Gonzaga twice. And that's one of the reasons they went as far as they did. That St. Mary's team is a good little team too.
They aren't bad. Not at all. I tell you, I've said it yesterday. I'll say it again today. If Alabama wins over BYU, and if Duke wins over Arizona, Alabama would play Duke.
Yeah.
For the right to go to the Final Four. Mm-hmm. I would pay to sit courtside for that game. I think not the only one, but I think Alabama Duke would be a phenomenal regional final game. Oh my goodness!
Oh yeah, Duke's very tall with their guards, and that's something. And so is BYU for that point. Mark, look, a lot of Alabama players like Mark Sears. Mark Sears is probably 5'10".
Yeah,
I mean, you and I are probably taller than Mark Sears is, but so you've got that to take, I think, into consideration too. But yeah, the contrast of styles in this game. And these other games tomorrow night's going to be fascinating, really.
I'm not so sure how much we are going to visit before they tip things off on Thursday. You and I, Brent, with tomorrow being Thursday. So I want to bounce around. We'll let's keep it here. Take a long segment here. Just looking at some of these other Sweet 16 matchups. Auburn, I'm feeling a little better about Auburn. Michigan's a pretty good team. Auburn needs, in my opinion, Auburn needs to take advantage of that game, take control of that game early. Michigan strikes me as one of those teams, a young, excitable coach, Dusty May. Auburn needs to have control of that game early second half. They don't need to be, punching back and forth, jabbing back and forth with Michigan.
Well, here's a couple of things with Michigan of interest. Michigan's the only team in Division I basketball with 2 7-footers.
Yeah, how about that?
So Danny Wolf and then the Golden kid. Terry, help me on this. I think I heard this right. I think Danny Wolf is a kid that played at Yale last year that beat Auburn.
I think so. One of those guys did. Wolf is 7 foot. He's not. Golden is the better player of the 2 7-footers.
Yeah, right.
But I watched their game the other day. I didn't think either one of those guys were overly physical, even though they were they were 7 foot. But yeah, one of those guys did play against Auburn and helped knock them off last year. You're right about that, Brent.
The thing that concerns me for Michigan is 200th in the nation in 3-point field goal percentage.
Yeah.
Gary, if you can't shoot the three, can you beat Auburn? I don't think you can.
Boy, it'll be hard. It will be hard. I think Auburn gets by there. Ole Miss, Michigan State. You want to say Izzo gets the coaching edge, and he's got a great resume. But the Ole Miss coach isn't bad.
Listen, Chris Beaird. We lauded and applauded Chris Beaird over and over again. I think Chris Beaird is a defensive savant.
Yeah,
and is as good as there is on that side of the ball. I mean, look, it's a rarefied air for Ole Miss. Terry, at some point, Now, the Michigan State kids are used to this.
Yeah.
You know, you and I have been together for a long time, and experience means something.
It does.
These Ole Miss kids, do they wake up at some point and realize, gee whiz, if we win this game, we're going to lead 8. What in the world are we doing here?
Yeah, wait a minute. Definitely. And that region, the South region, is where the Big Ten is dropping their anchor. The Big Ten the Big Ten would love nothing more than to be able to say, wait a minute, Michigan beat Auburn, Michigan State beat Ole Miss. Michigan and Michigan State are playing for the right to go to the Final Four. That will be – so the Big Ten is hitching their wagon to the South, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, probably. And that absolutely. We haven't talked about Michigan State, but man alive, Izzo's team, it did what they normally do. They came along.
Yep.
I got amused at him in the game on Sunday night. They're interviewing him, and Izzo says, "Look, how do you think we're doing here? We can't stop anybody. We can't guard anybody." And truthfully, they were being blown out in the first half. To their credit, things evened up and they caught up. But look, and listen, this brings up a point that I want to bring either now or after the break. And I was on in Memphis yesterday, and they posed this question, and it's an outstanding question. The question is this: in football or basketball, which sport does a coach make the most difference?
Wow.
And like for guys like Izzo, who have we're being facetious, but his coach probably 50 NCAA games after Jay Heathcote.
Probably,
How much of my question is, and we'll lay this out as we go along. I would argue that the basketball coaches probably make a bigger difference than the football coaches.
I was going to lean basketball. Lean basketball as well with that question.
Because they have been there, they've got the experience, and Terry, you just got fewer players.
Yeah, I agree. You got fewer players, and I think not that basketball is not physical. We know basketball is a physical game. Football, I think, the raw physicality can put one team over the edge. We're just raw physical better than you.
Right.
Yeah, I would lean, if you pose that question to me, I would lean to say the good basketball coaches are more important. And by the way, I don't think there's a lot of good ones out there that make the difference.
Yeah.
But if you've got one like Tom Izzo, I think you've got a leg out. Let's take a break, Brent. We'll come back. I want to look around. Obviously, we talked Florida. I think both of us think Florida wins tomorrow fairly handily in the second half. Who would they play? Texas Tech, Archie, my goodness. Yeah. And then we've got a guaranteed SEC showdown. Kentucky and Tennessee, they're close together geography-wise. Yeah. They don't like each other.
No, not at all.
And damn it, the team we think's better, Tennessee, lost twice this year to Kentucky. Let's talk about that game and try and squeeze in some college football news and notes that Brent may have as well on the other side. It's a Hump Day edition, the Young and Norvelle Show, continuing right after this quick timeout on Action Sports Jacks.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville.
It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air.
It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com.
Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs.
Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Basketball du jour is the topic around these parts and really around the country. It's the number one sporting event going on. It's a wonderful, I think, the best sporting event in our country, March Madness. We welcome you back to the Young and Norvelle Show. Terry Norvelle here. Patrick, I think, is going to lay out today. He was with us yesterday. Boy, Brent, as we welcome Brent Beaird back here for another segment. Brent, we had a big time at that.
I bet you did.
That sports bar across from baseball, and the weather was perfect.
Yeah.
Brent, the baseball grounds last night, and that neutral site Florida State baseball game, annual Florida baseball game, that has weaseled its way. That's one of the 5 or 6 biggest sporting events in our region every year. It was. You couldn't have gotten another body in that ballpark last night.
I tell you, that's encouraging to hear. But I would agree with that. I mean, I've always thought Georgia Florida is the single biggest event in the city the whole year.
The Players Championship and Jaguar home game if they're good, playoff game, sure, blah blah blah.
But the Florida State baseball game every year, it's usually sold out. It's usually meaningful. It's going to become a lot meaningful sooner or later when Florida can find some middle and relief pitchers. Oh. And be able to hang on to leads. But as far as pure drama, it's about as good as it could get last night, wasn't it, Terry?
What a win for Florida State. I mean, they jump out 1-0. They hold a 1-0 lead. They get it up to 3-1. Florida has only had one hit, and they're bumping around. And I'm leaving the 7th. Okay, I'm trying to get home. Got to let the dog out. I've been away from the house all day. Yeah. We did the show. Yeah. And so I'll leave in the 7th, but knowing I can listen to Gator Radio Network. And Florida, top of the 9th, they've only had like 2 hits at this point. Florida they got a couple hits. It wasn't like they were giving it to them, but Florida scratches 2 in the ninth, top of the ninth. They go ahead 4-3, and you go, holy cow, the Gators are going to steal a game, and that would mean they would steal the series because they won the first game in Tallahassee. And you're sitting there going, this may be one of those weird games that gets you back on track. Damned if Florida's relief pitching goes out with a 1-run lead, first time they've had a lead all night, trying to close the game out in the bottom of the ninth. They go walk, hit batter, walk, single, grand salami, walk-off, home run, 8-4 FSU. Great win for the Noles. Tough win for the Gators. Tough loss.
Since you played D1 baseball, you'll understand this. What's the first thing that jumps out at you right there? 2 walks.
And the hit batter. The hit batter's the same thing.
Yeah, hit batter too. Terry, if he doesn't walk those guys, they're never in that danger, are they?
And you know, when you are the defending team up by a run, bottom of the ninth, you're in the field. You've got bases loaded, no outs. You're at the mercy. There's only a couple things that can get you out of that. You could have it's 4-3. You could have a botched squeeze play.
Mm-hmm.
You could have an infield fly rule where nobody can tag up. Or what you really need is a obviously strike 3 guys out, which is hard to do.
Right.
What you really would like to have is a 1-hopper right back to the pitcher. He goes home to first. There's a quick double play. Yeah, so you're not supposed to give up bases loaded. You know, that's the problem.
You know, I bet those games. I don't think he'd admit it, but I think those games bother Sully.
Yeah,
a whole lot more than your normal loss. But Terry, again, didn't they do this last year? To where they couldn't win a midweek game to save their life. That all their pitchers were either hurt or they were young, and at the end they got it together. Is this the kind of team you can do that again this year?
Boy, I don't know. That's a tough way to live every year.
It really is, isn't it?
You know, normally if you're a really good college baseball team, normally from the pitching standpoint, this time of year, and we're about a quarter of the way through conference play. Normally at this point, the good teams, they're trying to find their Sunday starter. They've got their pin, their middle guys. They've got their closer. They've got their Friday night, Saturday night.
Right.
Normally, okay. We're still trying to find who's our Sunday guy. Well, Florida is trying to find a Sunday guy and all their relief pitching.
Yeah, really.
And all you can do is keep handing the ball to guys, and hopefully somebody will take the job. You know, somebody will take the job. Hey, we left it off, Brent, basketball in the West. We both think Florida wins over Maryland pretty comfortably. We'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. Texas Tech, Arkansas. Am I reading too much? Boy, and you know, I'm not a big Cal guy. I don't think he's the best coach going. There seems to be something brewing with that Arkansas team. They got healthy now. Their bigs are kind of long. They got some long bigs. I can't wait to see that game.
I agree.
It wouldn't surprise me if Arky knocks TT off.
I think Florida would be begging for that.
I agree. I totally agree.
Because they know Arkansas. Look, Arkansas really only plays 8 players.
Agreed.
So that is something that now Boogie Flan is back, the freshman, and everybody thought that would mess up their chemistry. It really has only enhanced it. Frankly, overall, Billy Richmond and Carter Knox have played well for Arkansas. To your point, I think what's happened, and I've heard some commentators talk about this, the difference with Cal this year is he's had to really coach. When he was at Kentucky, Terry, he had all that talent.
Just roll the ball out.
You just roll the ball out there, and it really doesn't matter. That this year's different. You can tell he enjoys this. And listen, it's all – now here's the other thing with this. Terry, isn't it all gravy right now for Arkansas? I mean, no one thought they'd be this far. That's my thing. I think Florida would beg to have to play Arkansas.
Yeah, you've got tape of them. Texas Tech has beaten Florida a few times in postseason play. I'm with you though. And that would be great for the SEC. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? I don't think Auburn and Ole Miss will play each other in the top of that side. I think Auburn moves on. It would take a big win for Ole Miss to knock off Michigan State. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Auburn, Michigan State. But man, if it's Florida, Arkansas, that way you've got 3 teams trying to get to the final 4 on that side from the SEC.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That would be big.
Now, as far as Texas Tech, real quick, the guy you've talked about is JT Toppin.
Nice player.
The best player in that league, probably. So they've got to be able to defend him. But again, this is a no-lose situation for Arkansas. I would agree with you with Auburn. I think Auburn's able to win. Now, I do want to give some lauding and applauding to Dusty May from Michigan and the job that he did. Now, you and I remember Dusty May with the job he did in South Florida. Big time coach. But as we were talking about a few minutes ago, this is a time of year when the Bruce Pearls come through and they're able to figure it out. And especially if Baker Mazar is able to behave himself during the game.
Yeah, totally agree. I think I've got this stat right. I read it this morning, and I think it's correct. And I'm not reading anything into this. I'm just making a statement. Speaking of Texas Tech, as I read this morning, Texas Tech right now has had the easiest path. And when they say easiest path, as I read this morning, Texas Tech, because they will play Arkansas, and Arkansas was a 10 seed, or is a 10 seed. Texas Tech now is guaranteed their first 3 games will be against double-digit seeds. The only team, I think, out there that has played will have played they'll be playing for the Elite 8 with all double-digit seeds. How about that? It just fell that way.
Oh, yeah. Well, and two, with Texas Tech, they're 10-5 in quad 1 games. They did lose in the last 7 regular season games to Houston and Arizona, so that helped them as far as the strength of schedule. Now, this ignited something in my brain here, what you just said. There's a lot been said over the last couple of days. We don't have any Cinderellas. Oh, gee, that's really going to hurt the tournament. Oh, come on.
Ridiculous.
Terry, I don't see that at all. Do you?
Brent, during our last break, I'm looking at this bracket.
Yeah.
And I've got it kind of going down like everybody. It's funny you said that. During the break, I sat here and I went, I want to bring up a topic with Brent. Because there are compelling games tomorrow.
There are. There really are.
And Friday. And this is the Sweet 16 round. I sat there and looked at this and I went, man, wouldn't college, and I know college football has 12 teams right now. It's going to go to 14. Wouldn't college football love to have this many compelling games?
Oh, absolutely.
I think so. I think this, to hell with Cinderella. Cinderella always gets knocked off anyway. It's cute.
Do.
I want the best
really
team.
do.
I want the best teams playing to give me the best tournament. Cinderellas are cute, but I don't need Sister Jean in the Final Four flukishly.
You remember Terry, Florida Gulf Coast, making it. Now, I mean, you're just not going to have that very often. You've just got to have the right ingredients and so forth. But my point to this is not having someone from the non-Power 4 conference is not going to hurt this tournament
Not one bit. And if you are watching this tournament because you want to root for the Cinderellas, you're watching for the wrong reasons. I mean, you can do your own thing, but this tournament is not. This tournament is designed to expose the best men's college basketball team in the country.
Now
not the cutest story. Not the cutest story.
No. Now that brings up another quick question. It's amazing what we think about during these conversations, but are you in any favor of expanding the tournament?
Not at all.
I'm kind of with you.
Not at all.
I never mind more teams, but the reality of it is, now look, let's remember back. who had a beef. West Virginia had a beef instead of North Carolina going in.
Right.
But beyond that, did you lose any sleep over anybody else not getting in the tournament?
And think about how if they expand the tournament, which they will, TV and money will always win.
Sure, they will.
If they expand the tournament, let me take it a step further and give you a different explanation. It's not expand the tournament. It's add a couple more play-in games.
That's exactly what it is.
Do you think we need more play-in game level games and teams? No.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you really wanted this tournament to be the best it could be, you would reduce the field.
Yeah.
Instead of expand the field. And you may say, well, if you reduce the field, 16 rarely, if ever, beats a 1.
Mm-hmm.
15 rarely, if ever, beats a 2. If you reduced the field by 8 teams, the first round matchup would be not a 16 level team, it would be a 14. A 14 would beat a 1 many more times than a 16-1.
Yeah, I would agree.
A 13 would be a 2. If you wanted this tournament to be the best competitive tournament, you would take away teams, not expand teams. Do you have any interest in 2 more play-in games to get to 72? Hell no.
No, not really. No. I would agree with that. Exactly. It would not make any iota. But you've got a lot of people who want that. But look, what you said is correct. What they're going to do, and you understand the NCAA, they want that additional revenue, and that's what they're going to do eventually.
Absolutely. They're just adding on playing games, which what do we have? We had 4 this year.
Yeah.
I don't even think I watched a dribble of the 4 playing games. And why would you, if nobody really watches a dribble of the current 4 playing games, why would you be compelled to watch a dribble of 6 playing games?
Do you think anybody remembers Texas Xavier, American, Alabama State, St. Francis, San Diego State, and now they remember Texas and North Carolina being in there, but that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And sports has a lot of that. Oh, feel good, keep it going. I mean, I hate to do this, but I'll pull JU out of this. Did you see where JU went to? There's the March Madness NCAA tournament.
Yes. Yes.
There's still the NIT, right? And people really don't pay much attention, but there's still the NIT, which is kind of a yawn. There's this thing called the College Basketball Invitational, I think, CBI. JU, after getting eliminated, they got invited, but let me qualify it. You have to pay your way into the CBI. You buy your right in, and JU paid their way in to play, and they got beat in the first game. Why even go?
Why? Did you see this? There is, Terry, what's the new one? Is it CBB or something like that? It's not the CB, the one you just mentioned has been going on for a while.
Yeah, CBI.
They've actually got a new one.
You've got to be kidding. You've got to be kidding me.
No, listen, did you see, I'm pretty sure I saw this. Tim Brando is calling one of those games, and Gus Johnson's calling one of those games.
You're kidding me.
I'm not.
How did they pull that off?
I don't know. Somebody must be putting a lot of money in something of that effect. Look, the only reason you do that, besides ratings, is to one day hope that you can make a little bit of a splash in the NCAA tournament when invite you in, but that's not going to happen.
Unbelievable. Brent, let's shift gears a little bit. Well, real quick, though, let me finish. Houston, Purdue. Purdue's one of those teams. If Purdue athletics, and I hate to be mean like this, but if Purdue athletics was a color, their color would be clear. Does anybody? Yeah. I mean, I know they were number 1 in the nation a year ago. Does anybody pay attention to Purdue?
No. Unfortunately, now Matt Painter is one of the better coaches anywhere.
They've got Houston.
Look, there's no way in the world they're beating Houston. Houston very well can win the national championship.
They're talented, bunch of athletes. Purdue does get a quasi home court. They play in Indianapolis.
Yeah, they do.
And then Brent, what are your thoughts? I know one of the SEC is going to get knocked out. I can't wait to watch Tennessee and Kentucky.
Right.
I mean, this will be their
agree.
third. This will be their third meeting. It's hard to beat anybody 3 times. Kentucky somehow beat them twice.
Mm-hmm.
These two programs, like you're supposed to in the SEC, they don't like each other, and they're not supposed to.
No,
I can't wait for that game on Friday at 7:39. What do you think?
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. Look, Tennessee's a better team. I know they lost twice to them, but Tennessee is more experienced in the NCAA tournament than Kentucky is. And I don't think Kentucky plays real good defense. In a game like that, when the other teams won 2 in a row, Terry, give me the team that plays. Give me the team that plays a better defense and is looking for revenge. Yes.
I'm with you. We got about another 5 or 6 minutes with Brent Beaird here on a Wednesday edition. We'll talk with Dr. Aaron Bates, our sports medicine discussion in hour number 2. Brent, let's switch it to college football. I hate to blow our horns here, but I'm quasi-serious. Brent, college football could use hiring you and I as college football consultants. I mean, and I don't want to brag about us, but I mean, we've been doing this a long time. You and I have got college football pretty wired.
Yeah, yes.
And I think you're a level-headed guy. I think I'm a pretty level-headed guy. I think you can see both sides of the fence on most situations. I try to do that as well. I've got my bias. You've got your bias, but I try to do that as well. You look around now at college. Have you seen where now Mike Gundy has jumped on the Deion Sanders train?
Right.
Deion's acting like he's the first guy to ever say, "Hey, spring ball, let's play another team," and everybody is acting like Brent. You and I have been screaming to take spring ball and make it a moneymaker with 2 teams. I've even said maybe even a jamboree of 4 teams playing a quarter inch.
Yeah.
Brent, can you believe these guys are trying to take credit for something you've been kicking around for 20 years?
The shame of this is it probably will never happen.
I agree.
Number one, the first thing they've got to do in college football is they've got to get this portal out of April.
Sure.
That's why we're not having spring games, is these coaches are paranoid because, golly, somebody may be on TV. I don't think we mentioned this, but Vanderbilt, Clark, their head coach, actually said, Clark Lee, he said, "We're not afraid of having a game. We're going to have a game. Our fans deserve a game.
Nice.
Our players that deserve to have the attention. What should I be afraid of here?"
Yeah.
I thought that was about as refreshing as it could.
And and Brent, we are shopping our players to get poached. Well, make your place a better place to keep your player.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I would be all for a college football consulting group that went in, because sometimes I don't think they see the forest because of the trees.
They don't. Well, it's like we said that the other day when they left South Alabama out of the NIT, they picked them, called them back an hour later and said, whoops, I'm sorry, we can't do this now. I mean, that's about as embarrassing as it can get to be able to do that. And what we said about that was there needs to be somebody in college football and basketball that, for lack of a better word, is a common sense person where you run these final decisions by them before you make them final.
Totally agree. Go over, Brent, the last few minutes here. The college basketball portal is open right now.
Yes.
It opened a couple of days ago. It'll last, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 days.
Yeah.
The basketball portal is open, and some people may say, well, wait a minute, you're punishing the Sweet 16 teams that they're working on games. They can't talk to portal people.
Right.
Well, I think the balance of that, and help me out, Brent, the balance to that is, well, I think the best way to recruit to your portal is keep playing, and all these players see you playing. And they, right? Isn't it a lot easier for Todd Golden to go to the Final Four and then call the hot shot at Murray State than call him right now? I think.
Well, it's funny you said that because Nate Oates was asked that very question, the Alabama coach, and he said, "Look, we've got a general manager back home taking care of that."
Absolutely.
And that's what these other schools. Terry, this is amazing. First 2 days of the portal for basketball, 900 players got in it.
Interesting. But getting back to Nate Oates, and I had not heard that. What you just gave me some new information. Nate Oates says, we've got a general manager back in Tuscaloosa handling portal and all that. I would imagine the second add-on I would add to that would be, and by the way, every game we win in March Madness, we get the phone picked up more and more by players.
No question.
Right?
Absolutely.
They pick up the phone. Help me out if you know it off the top of your head. The football portal in April opens soon, right? Is it April 15th, I think?
Yeah. The portal, okay, most of the spring games were April the 12th.
Right.
Which is Saturday. And to Terry's point here is the portal opens that Monday afterwards.
Yeah.
So that's what, the 14th? It's either the 14th or the 15th.
Yeah.
And it's open for about 10 days. But see, that's lunacy.
Yeah.
Because you've got about 2 weeks left, about at least 1 week left of spring games and so forth. Look, I don't know why these guys, why they all can't come together. Why do they make these decisions that hurt themselves when they have the portal, Terry? They open the portal during the NCAA tournament. They open the portal for football. But basically right in the middle of spring games.
Yeah, it's unique, and I think it'll work out. I always point back to the NFL didn't just jump in and have all their rules and regulations perfect.
Right.
It has taken the NFL, and they're still doing trial and error. The NFL is still doing trial and error with salary cap, with free agency, with scheduling, with draft. They've been massaging, and everybody says, wow, the NFL, college football's got to get it right. They need to fix it. Well, it's going to take some time, some trial and error.
Yeah.
I want them to get it right, but the NFL took decades in all those topics that I gave you.
They did.
They've massaged and hell, the NFL still can't figure out what to do with the kickoff rule. They're changing. The NFL is out now saying they want more returns on kickoffs. The whole reason they put in the rule was to kill kickoff returns. And hell, the NFL hasn't figured out what a catch is in the last 20 years.
No. Well, but I'll say this though, what the NFL has done as far as their contracts and what they're paying these players. See, they've got that figured out. That's what college football has got to do next.
Yep. And again, it took the NFL decades to figure out free agency and contracts. They hit with a lot. They missed with a lot. Trial and error. Yeah. Everybody out there that loves college football that bitches about, well, they got to fix it. Well, it's going to take time, man. It's fine.
Yeah,
what are we? We are 4 or 5 years into this whole portal NIL. It's got to work itself out. Trial and error. The NFL, I mean, the most spit-polished league in our country, has taken decades of trial and error to get where they're at. Decades.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know. All right, Brent, you and I will probably visit again, obviously before the week is out. But, man, can't wait for tomorrow. On a good basketball game Friday. And by the time we wrap it up on Sunday, we'll be down to 4 freaking teams. How about that? 4.
Yeah, I hear a whistle in the background, Terry.
Ooh, it's good. It's good stuff, buddy. All right, let's get out of here. Brent, thank you so much for your time. And we'll get together as the week rolls on, and we'll have the field. The field will be whittled down.
We will.
Even more. That is Brent Beaird, our buddy, who chimes in on all of our college football and basketball. We certainly appreciate all he does for our show. All right, let's take a break. 1 hour down. We'll come back, talk some sports medicine. A couple of NBA injuries we want to talk about with Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. That comes up next on the Young and Norvelle Show.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville.
It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air.
It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com.
Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs.
Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
All right, I don't think I'm the only one speaking this truth. Man, I wish we had some basketball tonight, man. We had all that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we've been off a few days. I know it gets going tomorrow, but I need some March Madness basketball as we welcome you back to the Young and Norvelle Show here on Action Sports Jacks. I do believe we've got both Dr. Aaron Bates and Patrick Young joining us. We've got our segment now. We do it every Wednesday with Dr. Bates, our sports medicine segment. Unfortunately, there's always a bunch of sports injuries to get to. A couple from the NBA we want to talk about with Dr. Bates, and I've got a couple things I think Patrick may as well. But yeah, hey, Dr. Bates and Patrick. Doc, what is that shirt you got on, first of all? What do we got here? Oh, hit your button again. Hit your button again. Hit your button again. We didn't hear you. Hit your button. There we go. He'll get it. That's
Got it now?
Yeah, it looks like a Michigan Wolverine shirt. What are you wearing there?
No, this is the serve team from Elevate Life Church.
Okay, talk about it a little bit. Expound on it. What is that now?
It's just if you served on the on the serve team. We did some stuff for Thanksgiving, serving folks.
Okay, Pat.
Food, things like that.
Hey, Patrick's like me. When you said serve, I thought tennis. I thought y'all were playing some tennis over there at that church.
No.
Hey, how you doing? How's the rotator cuff, Doc, coming along?
Man, it's getting better every day.
Easy. Don't do that. You're worrying me. Patrick Young, how the heck are you? I think we got Pat. Pat going once. Pat going twice. All right, we'll dial Pat up. Doc, unfortunately, we got some stuff to talk about. NBA, some injuries, some things going on, and Steph Curry took a nasty fall, pelvic contusion. I don't really know. Number one, tell people what is the purpose of the pelvic bone, I guess it is, your pelvic bone, and is that related to a hip point, or is that in the same area? What is a pelvic contusion that Steph had?
Well, the pelvis is made up of a series of bones that makes up like a ring, a very sturdy ring that gives stability to your trunk, the stability to the spine and all of that, to your hips, to your legs. And so it's made up of the ilium, the ischium, and then you have the sacrum and tailbone as well.
Right.
So it's a similar injury to the hip point. It's just in a different area.
Okay.
It's just in the back by the tailbone and bottom of the sacrum. There's not a lot of cushion back there, particularly for some of us.
Yeah.
The cushion back there is going to protect it. Or you take a direct fall on it, you're just going to swell, and you get a lot of pain, and you can bruise the bone, which takes a while to recover.
So if I'm hearing you right, are you saying that if you've got a pelvic issue, it's going to be on the, I don't know how to say it, the back half of the body?
No, just in the pelvic region. So you can have it on the front side.
Oh, the front ass. Okay.
On the side, which is the ilium over there, iliac wing, or in the back.
The way you
or in the front.
The way you explain it is the pelvic region that you described. Is that kind of where the upper torso gets sat down into the skeleton?
Correct. It gives support to the upper torso.
And Steph had a nasty fall, a crash to the ground. What is the treatment, and is there a lot of blood flow there? Probably not a lot of. Is there a lot of? I guess it depends on where it's at. If there's blood flow there,
there's adequate blood flow. It's just not a soft tissue there. So you have pretty much skin and then bone. And so the treatment is really just rest.
And ice, I guess?
Ice initially.
Let that thing get that pain down. That's probably because, Chet Holmgren, when he got he fractured his tailbone or whatever it was. That's a completely different ball game.
And Patrick, I'll throw this to you, and then you spin off, Doc, and answer me if I'm right. Patrick, if you ever during your playing career, if you had a pelvic bruise or issue, is that from getting undercut? And I'm sure you were undercut.
No, not necessarily. I mean, it could be from getting undercut. It could be from diving for a loose ball. Anything that's going to have you at a high. And Terry, this is something that a lot of people don't know, and Dr. Bates knows this. Trauma is moving 15 miles per hour up. That's where trauma starts. And then if you fall from 3 feet or 3 times your height, that also is what they will consider the standard of trauma. And obviously he didn't fall that far, but it's an area, as Dr. Bates said, there's just skin and then there's the bone. So there's no padding there.
Yeah. In the Florida UConn basketball game, early in the game, and Patrick, you were at the game. Doc, I think you might have probably watched it. The UConn big man on a free throw, man, he went way up and got a rebound, and he got kind of undercut a little bit. And that's how I see a pelvic getting injured, because you land awkwardly, and then he was trying to hold on to the basketball, so he didn't have his hand down, his arm down.
Yeah, when you're not really expecting it, and you can't really brace for it. You can't get your hand down to break the ball. That's kind of when those types of injuries occur.
Well, that
sometimes it's better to not have that hand out because falling on an outstretched hand
Yeah.
can lead to wrist, hand, elbow, shoulder injuries, all that
elbow
stuff.
dislocations, wrist fractures.
Interesting.
Mhm.
I'm surprised it doesn't happen more in football, honestly. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could, but they're so used to falling, they kind of know how to fall a little bit better. And I guess there's more padding as well.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
A sports activity, I'll call it, that I think has that. What'd you call it, Pat? When you put there's an acronym.
Foosh, falling on an outstretched hand.
Yes. You know what I think that happens a lot in terms of just a physical activity, like the roller skate people that go roller skating. Or the few times I've ever gone ice skating. I've done it a few times. And
see a lot in snowboarding as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm falling like crazy, and I'm sticking my hand, and man, your wrist or your arm, or that's at risk, isn't it, man?
That's correct.
The natural instinct is put your arm out, right? Yep. Break the fall.
Got to protect yourself.
Break the fall. Another NBA injury, Doc, and I want to try this to compare it to another injury we had. Damian Lillard, NBA player. He's out for a while. He's got a what they call a thrombosis. Is that right? The blood clot of the calf.
DVT.
Yep. Deep venous thrombosis.
Yeah. So it says I got a couple of spinoffs I want to give you. So he's out for a while. Blood clot in his calf. Wemby, the star player Wemby, is out for the year. Lillard is coming back, it sounds like, in short term. Wemby's out for the year. He had a blood clot in his shoulder. Is there a...
How is that possible?
Is it different? Oh, number one, is a blood clot, Doc, always blunt trauma, or does a blood clot just form? How does a blood clot happen?
Yeah,
how does Damian Lillard get a blood clot when he is so active?
Right, because it's really immobility. But they are on the road a lot. I mean, not in the air a lot, and just a lot of flying can cause some blood clots.
They said that. I heard national radio, Doc. I was listening to national radio, and they were saying something about they spend so much time on an airplane. But did he already have a blood clot and he exacerbates it on the airplane, or is it not blood trauma? How do you get a blood clot?
Well, you can get it with blunt trauma, but typically it's immobility. So when we talk about lower extremity surgery and post-operatively people being immobilized for a knee or hip or whatever, there's a higher risk of blood clots, particularly when you bring age into the factor, body mass index, smoking. Yeah. There's a number of other things that we look at to look at the risk, and that's why we put people on blood thinners and give them these sequential compression devices to pump blood back to their heart from their legs. But a typical healthy person that doesn't have any, past medical history, like an issue with coagulation disorders, anything like that, is at less of a risk, unless you're doing a lot of flying and things like that. And most of these NBA players are fun.
When you say
go ahead, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead, Pat.
So Chris Bosh, that's really who I think we should compare to.
Okay.
His career, from his blood clot that he got in his legs, ended his career because I guess there was a hard to understand how he got it. Obviously, 41 at minimum 41 flights a year. Does Damian Lillard not like Wemby? Wemby's got to be on blood thinners for 3 to 6 months. I would think Xarelto, Eliquis, something like that.
Right.
How is he able to play and Chris Bosh was not?
Well, I don't know if Lillard's going to be coming back, like you say. I mean,
okay,
they may, but his blood clot may be small enough that if he's treated with blood thinners initially, that maybe it'll dissolve and it doesn't have the same risk. And the risk we're talking about is a pulmonary embolism. What that is a piece of that clot flicking off and going to the heart that eventually goes up to the lungs, and causes the heart to work too hard, and then the heart stops. And that's the fatality.
Yeah. Well, Doc, when you say the medical world will put this type of patient on blood thinners, while they're on blood thinners, do you say no activity? You don't want the blood pumping as you're running around? Do you say no activity?
Yeah, we'll even stop post-operative physical therapy because somebody has a blood clot.
And also, my spinoff of that, when we talked about Wemby had one in his shoulder, and he's done for the year. Remember, that was traumatic about 2 months ago. We talked about it. Lillard, it looks like he's in the calf, and he will, if his team plays deeper, they're in the playoffs almost, but blah, blah, blah. Is there a concern, and you mentioned the heart, the shoulder is closer to the heart than the calf is closer to the heart. Does that factor at all in anything?
I don't think so. But I think the bigger factor is that we see a lot more lower extremity blood clots or DVTs than we see in Wemby's case with this upper extremity blood clot. That's much more rare. And so we know how to treat the lower extremity DVTs. And we know natural history of that and the outcomes depending on what that clot looks like, the size it is, what vein it's in, and all of that to assess risk.
Are people, and Pat, if you've got one or two more questions, feel free to jump in. Doc, with regard to blood clots, are some people just born more susceptible to blood clots than people that fly a lot, or are you just predetermined somewhere in DNA that you are a risk to get blood clots?
Well, there are certain coagulation disorders that will increase the risk of blood clots. And I'm sure they tested Wemby, they tested Damian Lillard for those things. They don't necessarily have to have that to have a blood clot. But yes,
Doc,
you're right.
Doc, have you ever given your professional expertise, medical opinions, and thoughts with a little Maltese or whatever that is, breathing down your?
She's a Shiba Inu.
Yes, she is.
What's her name?
I tried to pick her up. I tried to pick her up, and her whole harness came off, and I was like, she is an escape artist, so thank God she didn't run away.
Doc, that's some heavy breathing there. Does that dog have some pulmonary issues, Doc? With that,
dog needs some oxygen.
That dog needs some water. Give that dog some water. Give that dog some water. Doc, we only got a couple of minutes. We probably don't have time to get into this. I was reading some stuff. I like to kind of look around in the medical world to see if I can find something that can be not the stupidest questions I always ask you. Where is robotic assisted surgeries? I'm starting to hear, is that something that's a thing now? Is that a Jetsons, down the road? What are some of the pros and cons? If that can, I'm hearing a little bit more of robotic assisted surgeries. What the hell is that?
So in orthopedic, yes, we've been doing robotic assisted surgeries for years now. And that's mostly for knee and hip replacements. They're starting to come out with something for shoulder replacements. But then you also have in general surgery, some gynecological surgeries. There's another robot that they use as well. I don't know about that one as much.
Yeah.
And I really haven't used the knee or hip robot for replacement because I don't do replacements any longer anyway.
Yeah.
By the time it really came out, I really wasn't doing those things.
Has there been enough study or development to know what the pros, and I'm sure there are pros and cons to this. Is there something that jumps off the page, pro and con, and or con?
Yeah, there's studies done all year, every year since it's been out, comparing robotic assisted to non-robotic assisted knee and hip replacement. And the studies are kind of all over the place, but they mostly favor the robot because we're all human, right? So not one surgeon does it the same as the other. If you are able to kind of control where the robot is doing, or at least setting it up, and everybody sets it up the same way, then you have more results that are leveled off. And
I know as a patient, I would, you have to let them know if there's anything robotic. I want a human doing my stuff. I mean, call me crazy, and I'm old.
All the robot does is kind of control where you make your cuts.
Right.
But the surgeon's still doing
the hands-on. Yeah, it's funny. I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't want to sound stupid, but what I was reading earlier, two days ago, when I wrote this down, it sounded like the robotic end was more of the mapping of the area that's going to not. You know, we hear robot. Oh my God, it's going to be the robots on. No, what I was reading was more. It's helping. Map out, okay, everybody's knee, I guess, is different size, and everybody's ankle, and to me, what I was reading was it was more mapping than the little arms of a robot aren't getting in there and doing the procedure.
That's a good way to put it. But it maps, and then you're actually putting your hand on the arm and you're kind of painting an area.
Yeah. But interesting. I don't want any of that. I want Dr. Bates in there making a human reasoning determination as I'm going. I just don't trust it. I don't know. Patrick, you got any thoughts on that, Pat? I know you're younger than me, so maybe you see it a little different than me, but I want a human reasoning through most of my surgery if I have surgery.
Well, I don't know if it will ever replace health. Our
Pat, we're going to let you go. I think we'll lose you in a little bit, but Doc,
I'll tell you, there's a lot of patients that really kind of favor the robot just for whatever reason, because they feel like it takes the human element out of it, and it's more, kind of stabilized and routine.
Well, let me leave you with this. And I guess I'm an old 60-year-old guy, and maybe I'm going to be dead and gone. I don't ever want to get on an airplane without two human pilots, pilot and a co-pilot. And you can tell me all you want that this is a robotic pilot and this thing is. I want a couple of human reasoning. Doc, am I crazy there? I mean, that's how
you're not crazy, but I tell you, just a couple months ago, I was in Phoenix. I went into a Waymo, which is it's a driverless car, almost like a Uber or Lyft. You call Waymo. They have 5,000 of these things in Phoenix and Scott. And this thing pulls up, and you have an app, and there's nobody in the car. You just get in the car. The car.
How did you feel? Seriously, I'm being serious. How did you feel when you got in there?
Oh, it was weird. It was weird.
Now, when you were in, Doc, when you were in there, I guess you put coordinates where you want to go. I want to be picked up here. I want to go there.
Right.
Did you have the option to go, hey, can you swing in McDonald's? Hey, can you stop? I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, you could do that on the app.
On the app?
Yeah.
But were you with your wife or were you alone?
No, I was with some other guys.
Did they feel awkward? Was it weird? It was just a weird.
No, they're the one who told me to try it out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where was this at again, Doc?
This is in Phoenix / Scottsdale.
Yeah. Any issues and how far did you go?
About 10 miles.
No issues?
Yeah, no issues.
It
accelerates, it stops. I mean, it's just like riding a regular car.
Well, let me ask you this. When you were going a distance, you probably had some stoplights and stop signs. Did you see other drivers looking over going, what the hell? There's nobody in the driver's seat.
That's the way I was when I first saw it, but I think they've seen them there for so long, they already know.
Okay. I get it. I get it. Things are new when they're new. I get that. Mm-hmm. But my God, Patrick, can you imagine getting in a car or a taxi and it just pulls up? And did the door open? Was there an announcement or anything? Was there a speaker that said, "Hey, are you Stephen Smith? Can you get in my car?" You know?
No, I don't really know how that part of it works.
That's crazy.
When you walk up to the door, I guess with your phone, it automatically unlocks. And
you'd use a QR code or so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Patrick, that's crazy, isn't it? Good Lord.
So if they could do
that is crazy. Absolutely.
At some point in time, I'm sure there's going to be, robots controlling airports.
I don't know. I don't know, Doc. I tell you what, you get on the plane with no pilot, human pilot. You get on that plane, Doc, and tell me if you made it. Call me.
I mean, they're already flying drones.
Let some robots to do TSA.
Doc, I'm trying to save your job here. What are you doing? Why are you fighting me on this, Doc? Why are you fighting
Reality.
me? You're right. Hey, and Patrick, Doc's already put in that retirement date. He said, "Man, I'm fine.
Right.
I'm fine.
It's getting close."
All right, Doc, get out of here. Enjoy some basketball. We get it going again tomorrow. And
you got my Terps there, Patrick.
Hey, oh yeah,
Terrapins are going down.
Got my Terps, buddy.
Terrapins going down.
Fear the turtle.
Doc, I'm being serious for a minute here.
Nope.
I don't know if you've busted this game down or anything. Florida's going to beat the brakes off of Maryland tomorrow. Seriously. Isn't that right, Pat?
There's a chance.
Yeah, Pat, isn't that right, Pat?
Yeah.
It's not a good.
Watch out for Derek Queen. He's coming.
You shut your filthy mouth, number one, Doc. It's not a good match. I'm telling you, not a good matchup for Maryland.
Mouth.
Yeah, not a good matchup.
That freshman don't got enough for our four bigs.
Yeah.
4 bigs.
Yeah.
He's got 4 guys coming at him.
Clayton's no joke either, boy.
He is not. That is Dr. Aaron Bates, our buddy from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. We do it on Wednesdays. A lot of fun with him. We appreciate the knowledge he drops on us. Let's take a break, come back, start winding things down on a Wednesday. Back to basketball tomorrow. Boy, it feels like we hadn't had basketball in a while. We need some more basketball. March Madness comes up tomorrow. We'll talk about the rest of the games as we come back to the Young and Norvelle Show on Action Sports Jacks.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, It's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville.
It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bolt City Heating and Air.
It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bolt City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoltCityAC.com.
Stay cool while it gets hot. Bolt City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoltCityAC.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs.
Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bolt City Heating and Air at BoltCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Hey, we've been so busy all the last couple of days with basketball, which we are supposed to be, as we welcome you back to the Young and Norvelle show right here on Action Sports Jacks. Terry Norvelle here. I think we still have Patrick Young. We've been so busy, Patrick, with basketball, which we're supposed to. Been trying to get some fun stories out here, little off-color kind of fun stories. Number one, did you hear, I think this happened the end of last week, did you follow it all? And God bless celebrities, and they just think different. Did you hear where, Tiger Woods is currently dating?
Oh gosh,
he's
currently going to bring that up.
Yeah, he's currently dating the former daughter-in-law of President Trump. So he's dating Donald Trump Jr.'s ex-wife, real pretty lady, Victoria, I think her name is.
Yep.
And we may have a photo of that, Zach. I'm not sure if we still have it in the system, but so
it was a very funny picture. Funny picture.
So Tiger last week goes on his social media, and Tiger Woods posts a couple of pictures. He and his new girlfriend, and by the way, again, she's the former daughter-in-law of the current president of the United States. So that brings international media, right? Tiger Woods post a couple pictures, and he posts a little caption, "Love is in the air, blankety blank, my new girlfriend." He posts the pictures. She's this incredibly recognized person all over the world. Tiger Woods posted on his social media that has 6.4 million followers, Patrick, and he ends his little caption by saying, basically, "Please respect our privacy." Right?
I guess you could say that's him getting out in front of it, maybe.
I guess.
But also, like, dude, I mean, I don't know. I was telling somebody about this. Look, Donald Trump, whatever, polarizing figure, whatever, like him or hate him, voted for him, not, whatever.
Yes.
Like, I just, especially being Tiger Woods, but just me personally, I don't care if she is the most beautiful woman ever. Like, I don't think I want to be associated with Donald Trump's last name just because of everything that comes with it. Not, it's more so of like, oh, you're dating a Trump? Blah, blah, blah. I don't,
It's just hilarious that Tiger Woods, maybe
Tiger Woods, man.
He's got to be top 5. The current generation, he's got to be top 5 most recognized athletes in the last 25 years worldwide. Okay, so that's Tiger Woods. The girl he's dating was the former daughter-in-law of the sitting 2-time president of the United States. Tiger himself posts a couple of, they're in a hammock together, snuggled up, and they're holding hands. They're beautiful pictures, a cute little couple. He does all this. And then at the end of his post, he says, "Please respect our privacy." You got 6.4 million followers. I mean, come on, celebrity. You can't think like that. So, Pat, how you doing, man?
I just think Tiger just does things so different. Like, he's always been kind of. I think golfers in general, they're a little. Golfers are a little awkward.
Yeah.
They're
I think so.
And I don't know, his whole deal, man, was just from his transgressions when he had multiple mistresses and other drama he's had, dating Lindsey Vonn, whatever. Like, he just does things very differently. And, I wish Tiger to be happy and to have a great relationship. I hope it works out for him.
I'm with
best I can say.
You just made me think of something. You said golfers are a little different, and I agree with that. They are. They're a little awkward in front of camera, but is that because they play a individual sport and they're not part of a team? I wonder. Team, the locker room, busting with your buddies, and golf. You really don't have that. I wonder if that's why. They do seem a little
maybe.
awkward.
Golf is so tight knit. It's so much of a what do you call it? A guys club or
country club?
Just a really small country. I would say like basketball is a small world, the basketball world, but it's not the same because you have a team. There's multiple players on one team. It's kind of like I don't know, just like you look at like Bryson DeChambeau. He's an awkward guy.
Different,
Sergio
man.
Mickelson.
Awkward.
Shoot, Patrick Reed.
Awkward.
But I watched TGL. I watched TGL. The last 2 days. Atlanta won.
Yeah.
Honestly, and look, Terry, I was super skeptical on TGL.
How was it?
It makes golf fun to watch, and it's not super long. They mix it up where it's like they do have one-on-ones, but they do it so it's like best ball where every player rotates on each shot and stuff, and guys are celebrating. They had fans that were heckling. They opened the door an hour early so fans could get that swing loop going. I was like, man. And the fact that it didn't take 4 hours, I think it took 2 hours max.
Nice.
I think it took 2 hours. They win, and it was competitive. It was competitive. The ones that weren't competitive, you lose interest in. But it's very interesting. It just sucks. Tiger, this is probably the best, most he can do nowadays. Sucks that he tore his Achilles. That's at least a year recovery.
Ooh, that's terrible. That is terrible. Patrick, yesterday, how much fun did we have at the sports bar before the baseball game? That was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Man, I ended up staying and met the bartender, Caitlin.
Nice.
We had a great conversation, and then I was like, man, after that, and I got some food there. I was starving. I was like, man, I want to go into the baseball game, but I'm tired, so I went home. It turns out I missed out on an awesome game.
Yeah, it was good. FSU with a walk-off grand slam. But you had a lot of people come up. That was fun. And looked like a lot of people bought your book, too. It was pretty cool.
I think I sold like 4.
Yeah, 4 or 5 books, and a lot of people were happy to meet you. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? It was a good to think that was for college baseball. That was awesome, and the crowd was absolutely jam-packed in the arena.
I met a really cool group of guys I met after you left.
Yeah.
One guy is a Gator fan. His best friend's a Florida State fan. Neither one of them live in Jacksonville.
Oh.
They both drive. It's been their 8th year in a row that they come to the Florida State game together. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. Love that.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Pat, I want to jump to a fun story. I think it'll be fun this season. We'll see it once baseball starts. The New York Mets.
Is it the White Sox?
No. What do you got? What do you got with the White Sox? Go ahead.
Oh, nothing. No, nothing. I just, the White Sox were so awful last year.
No, it's not the White Sox.
A parody of them.
How cool is this? And we're going to see it a lot on TV, I'm sure. The New York Mets, yesterday, I think it was, they announced one of their, you have promotions all year. One of their consistent promotions for their home games this year, they're going to do a mascot race, okay? And a lot of baseball teams do mascot races, okay? The Mets are changing theirs up. They're going to do, they call it the 5-borough mascot race for every home game for the Mets. And what they're going to do, they're going to have 5 different mascots for each borough. The Brooklyn mascot is going to be a slice of pizza. You with me? A slice of pizza. The Manhattan mascot is going to be a mascot in the form of a skyscraper.
Okay.
The Staten Island mascot that's going to race is going to be in the costume of a ferry, and
nice.
don't make any jokes there as you take a ferry to Staten Island. The Bronx mascot is going to be in the costume of a giraffe, the Bronx Zoo, and the Queens mascot is going to be in the shape of a subway. And all 5
Okay.
of those are going to race. You know how you've seen the is it Milwaukee?
Mr. Freeze.
The Milwaukee does the sausage race, and the Nationals do the mascot presidents. They have like Thomas Jefferson and Abe Lincoln, and they race them. This is going to be pretty cool, I think, with New York with the 5 boroughs race. Be kind of cool.
I like the Mr. Freeze race that teams do, where they give the fan a head start.
Yeah.
And then they end up, the guy always ends up catching them. He's like a former track athlete or something.
And is that guy like in a bodysuit kind of thing?
Yeah, that's like a bodysuit.
Yeah, the guy that's chasing it. I'm partial.
Well, you haven't seen The Incredibles.
No, I haven't.
I can't remember if it's Disney or Pixar, but it's one of their most popular cartoons of all time. So that's why Mr. Freeze is so popular. Like they put on ESPN highlights all the time. It's great.
Nice. I'm really partial though. I really I chuckle every time they show the Washington Nationals. They do the president's race, mascot race, and just to see a stand-up Abe Lincoln and a stand-up Teddy Roosevelt with a monocle in his eye. I love the president.
I'm so surprised that no team tried to do like a Donald Trump, Joe Biden race, like controversy. It's just to be funny, and then make it so like neither one of them win or something stupid. Just I'm surprised that hasn't been done. That would have been, that would have been great. That would have been, we would have talked about that on the show for sure.
That would have been hilarious. Pat, I don't know if you and I talked. I think I snooped around a little bit. I think Florida, getting back to March Madness, I think the Gators jumped on a plane Tuesday morning to go out. So they didn't have much time to get home. How about Maryland? From what I can gather, Maryland never went home. They were in Seattle, and because they have to play in San Francisco, they didn't go home. I think Maryland's just going to stay on the road for a couple of weeks. How about that?
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart for them to. I think we did the same. I think we not every time, but there was 1 or 2 times in my time where we just went from Phoenix to Texas, or something. And because we get there so early, you got time for us to kind of disassociate with the basketball and go see the city, go see a museum or something like that. I don't know. And it's pretty great. It has some, all the times that, Scotty, Will, Casey, and I got to just hang out and do stuff together was always the best.
I still think the NCAA aired. I think they should have given that West Regional Friday, Sunday, because the first 2 rounds in Seattle and also in Raleigh were Friday, Sunday. I think that one extra day would have been nice. But no, they did not. Florida and Maryland finished on Sunday, and they're told to get your butt to San Francisco and play on Thursday. Maryland, keep in mind, Maryland played a 7-10 game. They played till 10:30 on Sunday night. So Maryland's even an extra half day worse than Florida. I don't think it's going to factor. I just don't think it was smart by the NCAA. Yeah. Why wouldn't you give those schools? Florida barely touched down in Gainesville. They got to wash some uniforms. They might have had a quick film session, and they said, "Hey guys, we're flying out at 8 a.m. on Tuesday. Be ready and pack for a while. Pack for. Hopefully, we're going to play at least 2 games there. I don't know. I don't think it really.
Man, I'll tell you what, man. All these games. Obviously, we're looking forward to. I am so looking for, because every SEC team could move on except for Tennessee or Kentucky. One of those two got to lose since their matchup against each other.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. And Tennessee's favored, even though Kentucky's won twice.
Yeah. Wouldn't you favor?
Yeah, Michigan and Auburn, that's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were setting odds, I know I would set odds as Tennessee would be the favorite. I would have to have Tennessee giving points. I think Tennessee will win, even though Kentucky's beat them twice.
Why do you think that is? Why is Tennessee the favorite over a Kentucky team that's beaten them twice?
To me, I know, and I watched. I think both of those games. The eyeball test. I'm big on that. I just think, and I also do think Tennessee's playing better. I think Tennessee hit a little bit of mud about a month ago, just like Auburn. And I think Tennessee's played their way out of it. Obviously, Chaz Lanier's playing better than he's played all year. He's had back-to-back.
Much better.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? I think Tennessee will win that game. I can't wait to watch it, but I think Tennessee will win it.
I'm not sure who I want to win the game.
Yeah.
Like, I feel maybe I'm Tennessee because Zakai Ziegler is he's my favorite Tennessee player I've gotten to see over the years of all time. Just the way that he plays, his size. This is his last go round. Tennessee's never been to a Final Four.
I know.
His name is gonna be in the rafters. It's gonna be up there. Would love for him to get a chance to say, they're doing something for the first time, which is going to San Antonio for the Final Four. But Kentucky, man, I didn't think they were going to beat Illinois, and not in the way in which they beat Illinois.
Agreed.
But if they have Lamont Butler is the X factor.
Yeah.
He is so smart. And look, he made the shot when he was at San Diego State to send FAU home when UConn won its second national championship, or their first national championship. The second one was against Purdue. That's right. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Kentucky's defensive. Well, Illinois, they were turning the ball over. They were giving the ball to Kentucky to start that game. The turnover battle is going to be interesting. The 3-point line for Kentucky, the last time they played Tennessee at Tennessee, they knocked down every shot. It seemed like they made them all.
Yeah.
But with Kentucky not having Jack, they have great shooting though, man. Trent, that kid Noah, the kid Perry, Almanor, Brea, they can shoot it. I think maybe who do you think the X factor is probably going to be the bigs. If Amari Williams, if he has a good game, I think he'll exploit the weakness Tennessee has. They don't have a great big this year.
No. Williams,
not yet.
That Williams for Kentucky, when I watch him play, I don't understand why he doesn't dominate more stretches of games. To me, he's long, he's athletic, but he'll dominate for a short stretch. I'm like, this guy, I see this guy taking a game over, but he doesn't. He never does.
Well, I remember hearing from one of the games, he plays the best when he's mad. Okay. That's when his dominance comes out. So I don't know what they need to do to get him to play angry, because he doesn't lose his composure when he's playing mad.
Yeah.
He's just more aggressive. And I think with his ball handling ability and passing ability,
and
I think he can exploit. He would be a difficult guard for, even though he doesn't shoot it. He would be a difficult guard because I think he's lefty, and he's really crafty.
I agree, man.
Great confidence when he has the ball in his. Yeah.
And he came from a small school. And I'm like, wow, this guy was playing
4 years at Drexel.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this guy was at Drexel. Maybe I just catch his good games. I've been impressed with Williams at Kentucky all year. I've been all year.
Yeah.
Pat, did you hear a little funny story around the Gators? Did you hear the story about the Gators and Todd Golden? They got boxed out of the restaurant they wanted to go to, and then they got it fixed. Did you hear that story about Todd Golden and his favorite restaurant?
No.
Let me tell you the second hour, people. We had it in the first hour. So Coach Golden for the Gators, obviously when the bracket came out originally before it started, March Madness, you can kind of guesstimate, hey, man, if we win a couple games, he knew that his team, the Gators, could go to the West Regional, right, in San Francisco. That's his old stomping grounds. He played at St. Mary's, and he coached 6 years at San Francisco. So when he saw the bracket, he told reporters that his first thought was, hey, man, we got to go to San Francisco if we win 2 games. I want to take my team, all our people, I want to take them to my favorite restaurant ever in San Francisco. It's called Original Joe's. It's an Italian place, right? So Golden goes on to say that when the bracket came out, he didn't dare call then and get a big reservation because he didn't want to jinx his team, which I understand. You don't want to call and make a reservation. Right, you're jinxing your team. So he didn't call. Well, after they won their second game and they're going to go to the West Regional in San Francisco, he goes, okay, I want to take my entire team. There's 17 players, support staff, about 40 people. So they say he calls on Monday, and the restaurant says, Coach.
Todd Golden called? You think he actually called?
And that's what he said. He said he gives him a call.
Okay.
He said he was very close when he lived there all those years to the owners, the Italian owners. He said he made a call to the restaurant, not the owners, and they said, it's we just can't accommodate you. So they got boxed out. Patrick. But
dang, come on.
It sounds like the owners heard about it and went, whoa. They got a couple of locations. They made some moves, and they got to have their dinner there. He got boxed out at first, though, Pat.
Yeah, come on now.
You can't do that.
Yeah, come on now. You can't do that to Todd.
You can't do that.
He's a California guy. Like, you take care of him. Good, great job by that restaurant and those owners to find a way to make it happen.
Yeah, sounds like they had their meals. So he was going to get boxed out. Somebody got shootouts. What happened in that restaurant, didn't it?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So Pat, they'll play the Gators. They'll play where Golden State plays, right? That's Golden State's home court. Chase. Chase,
oh wow, they will.
Chase Center, yeah, the Chase Center is where this is being held. They said it's got the biggest jumbotron of all the regional sites. So if you got
awesome.
If you got a bad seat, but the Chase Center, and I was doing a little study in I've never been to San Francisco. They said it's within 1 mile on the waterfront down from Oracle Ballpark where the Giants play, San Francisco Giants play. So they call that area Thrive City. I don't know why they call it Thrive. I don't know, but that's kind of the fun area. That's pretty cool, though. They're playing Walter Clayton's going to play where Steph Curry hits a lot of bombs at. That's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, isn't that crazy? Like, in all seriousness, comparatively, Walter Clayton is Steph Curry of college basketball.
You're hearing that more and more.
Like, he doesn't. That was one of those things where at first I didn't want to jump on that bandwagon and like, oh yeah, that's hyperbole. That's not,
I agree, man.
Actually, and then you see him in the big games and like that. And I love that Walter is not a gunner. Yeah. Like he takes his shots and some, questionable ones at times, but he's not going to shoot his team out of the tournament. Yeah. Out of a game.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, Patrick, what you just said about Clayton being compared now seriously to Steph Curry, that narrative is caught on. That's caught on. Everybody now says he is the Steph Curry shooter of college basketball. And you made a good point. Florida plays in big games, and he has big shots. A lot of guys in college basketball can shoot, but can they shoot coming off a curl, down one against UConn with the whole world watching? That's different, isn't it? That's different when you can make that shot. That is definitely.
I know, right? Isn't that it? Well, look, look at the shot that the play that was drawn up for Colorado State going against Maryland.
Yeah.
Like, they got it into the post. That guy made a perfect pass. Like, the kid shot the ball with full confidence, and it hit nothing but the bottom. We're going to need moments like that. But obviously, Maryland ended up winning. I didn't think it was a travel. When I watched it in real time,
I didn't either.
Think it was a really, really hard shot that he made anyway.
What an angle! What a
like,
tough.
I think Maryland's the better team too. Like, I think Florida would. I think they're going to run away both of these games.
Yeah.
Or this next game, but Colorado State, they would have blown them out.
It's funny you said that about the Maryland shot. It got a lot of talk nationally. Was it a travel? Did they swallow the whistle? I didn't watch it live. It was a late game. I was wore out. I went to bed. Obviously, the next day, prepping the show, I got up and I watched it. And Pat, when I watched it, I was just reading the headlines that said it was a big game-winning shot. The controversy hadn't started. When I watched it, Pat, I never thought 1 second he took too many steps. I never thought 1 second when I watched. Is that how you saw it?
And we have to think about this too, Terry. Like, we don't do FIBA rules here. Like, they would have called a travel if he was playing in Europe or with FIBA rules. They would have called a travel. It's so different.
Sure.
The NBA and Gene Sarator, he explained it great. On that dribble he picked up, he didn't have it was a little bit of a bobble, kind of, not much, but it wasn't clean. Anyways, when he first picked it up, and the first step starts right after that.
Yeah.
It starts right at the, but still, like, going to the left, fading, and to knock that shot down. Holy crap!
And Pat, he had a terrible angle. He had barely a little bit of backboard to work with.
Barely.
Man, And that's the big man, right? That was the big man, right?
Yeah, he was part of that. He's part of that Cooper Flag team out there with Montverde.
God,
so,
did you see
like,
that
those
team?
Those kids are fearless, man. They don't shy away from the moment. And you heard he said to the coach, give me the bleeping ball.
Yeah. Yeah, my goodness gracious. We don't have time to get into it now, Pat. We got 1 minute left, and we'll get back together tomorrow when we have basketball, back to basketball tomorrow. Can't wait.
Yeah, I got some basketball to talk about.
Man, that high pick and roll, though, man, that Florida ran over and over the last 5 minutes, that was beautiful basketball. I don't know what and we don't have time to get deep into it until tomorrow. I don't know what UConn could have done, but my God, they rolled at the top of the key and picked off the guard, and Clayton made the shot.
Clayton makes a shot, or they try to blitz Clayton. They try to blitz Clayton. Clayton gets the ball back to Condon. Condon goes into it. He goes into another pick and roll where the big is on the other side of the court trying to get there to coverage.
Yes.
And that's just pickings for anybody right there.
That was, I tell you, man, both sides, and we need to get off this game, but 20 seconds left. That was pretty basketball, both sides to watch, particularly the last 5 to 10 minutes of that game. UConn did stuff. Florida did stuff. Man, it was pretty. All right, Pat, we got to get out of here. 10 seconds left. Credit. Hey, good stuff, man. We'll get together tomorrow. On the eve. We're on the eve. We'll be game day tomorrow. Florida taking on Maryland. We'll talk about it tomorrow on the Young and Norvelle Show, 4 to 6, right here on Action Sports Jacks.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville.
It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air.
It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com.
Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs.
Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.